Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the N-Scale kit called Merchant's Row 1. This is made by Walther's. It's part of their Cornerstone series, and this is a very popular kit that you will see on many model railroads, both in N-Scale and HO. And the reason it's so popular is it depicts a classic American downtown where you have multiple buildings built in a row, and they typically have shops or restaurants on the lower level with apartments above. And the box even says fits 1800s to present, so if you're modeling the Industrial Revolution or the Golden Age of Steam or even the modern day, this kit will work well because a lot of these old downtowns still exist. Some have aged well, some have fallen into disrepair, and some have even been renovated into new, trendy urban centers. So whatever your modeling style, you can probably adapt this kit to fit. Now this is one of the larger N-Scale kits. It measures 7.5 inches wide by 3.5 inches deep, and it's a little over 2.25 inches tall. So this kit was shrink wrapped when I bought it, and I have already removed the shrink wrap. And inside, and yes, I've already cut that open to look at it previously, everything's packaged in one large bag, both the instructions and the plastic parts. So let me clear all this away and we can take a look at it. So right away you can get the sense that this is a much bigger set of buildings than most of the N-Scale kits that I've reviewed. The instruction sheet is pretty simple, just comes with some warranty information should you need it. And you want to be careful to protect the decals. This is a set of water transfer decals with the names of the shop and some signage, and it has a protective sheet. I like to keep that with the decals until I'm ready to use them. And then the instructions themselves are just a single sheet. It has a write-up talking about the kit and about the history of the buildings. And then it has a diagram and labels that identify each of the parts. And on the back side it has instructions for putting it all together. We'll look at the plastic parts in a minute, but you can see it's basically 4 large walls and a base plate and a roof with the firewall parapets and chimneys. And then last but not least, they talk about applying the decals. So we'll start with looking at the most interesting piece on here, and this is the front and back walls of the buildings. And you can see, even though it's molded as one piece, you have 5 individual storefronts. 4 of them are brick, and then this one is stone. And then the backs of all 5 buildings are also brick. And even though it's molded as one piece, when you build this to put on your railroad, you're going to want to make them all different colors to keep things interesting. You can always drive to your local downtown for ideas, or like I often like to do, just quote, drive around on Google Street View to see what these downtowns really look like. And then this sprue has the 2 side walls and the parapets and chimneys. And I'm glad they molded these as separate pieces. That'll make it a lot easier to paint the brick and do the washes for the mortar. And then this tan color set of parts It has the sidewalk that'll go around the buildings. It has tabs to help you accurately locate the walls. It has the door frames, and these are actually gutters and, well, not gutters, scuppers and downspouts. And if you flip it over, you'll see the surface for the other piece. This is the roof for all 5 buildings. And then the last 2 sprues actually comprise the majority of the parts. These are the windows for the buildings. And I'm always grateful when manufacturers put the clear parts in their own plastic bag because it protects them from damage. And the other sprue is identical, so we don't need to review that one. So overall, this is a nicely detailed kit, and with this classic design, you can't go wrong with it. Almost every railroad needs a downtown, and this is an excellent set of buildings to consider using for it. And they do have other Merchant Row series. I know there's one with a turret. I believe it's Merchants Row 2 that I will probably get to put across the street from this one. But like the other unboxings I've done recently, it's going to be a while until I build this. This kit will go somewhere on the bigger N scale layout that I'm going to be building in my loft, and I'm not even going to be starting that layout till the spring, and then it's still going to be quite a while until it's ready for buildings, but this is simply too big to fit on my smaller switching layout. But I do think when I build this, I'm going to do some extra stuff to it. I'd really like to make this corner store a hobby shop, and maybe with my 3D printer I can design an interior which would include the store shelving and even a scale layout to put in the windows. So that's going to wrap up this unboxing, but I hope you'll stay tuned for future videos where I will be building this kit and possibly doing some lighting and interiors for it as well before placing it on my layout. Thanks for watching.